In August of 2010, Tyler Clementi and Darren Ravi were paired as roommates at Rutgers University. They were strangers but got along well. In September, Clementi reportedly asked for private use of their room twice to spend time with a male visitor. Prosecutors say Ravi and another student secretly set up a camera in the room to spy on the encounter and invited others to watch. There were instant messages, text, tweets, teenagers gossiping in this digital age. But for Tyler Clementi, who had only recently told his parents apparently that he was gay, the humiliation may have been unbearable. A day after the second alleged spying incident, he jumped to his death from New York's George Washington Bridge. Tyler's final goodbye, also posted in digital age method. Simple and sad, the Facebook post read, "Jumping off the GW Bridge, sorry." Social media have called this a civil rights gay-bashing issue. Anti-bullying groups blog that they own this story. Is Clementi's death a hate crime or simply a case of, as some are claiming, young students who were victim of a miscommunication brought on by the social media and kids just acting out in thoughtless ways? Joining me, criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh. I've also got Erica America Hayden, a psychotherapist and Z100 radio personality. Also, radio host and social activist, it says R.B. Scott. Is it B. Scott?
B. Scott.
B. Scott, okay. And Tucker Max joins me. I believe you're by phone. He is the author. Oh, there you are. You're in a set. It's excellent. Of course, the author of I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Now, Tucker, do you know why I threw you in here?
No, actually, I'm not sure.
All right. Because I know you have a proclivity to throw video cameras on yourself and your friends. You've told me some pretty crazy stories about that.
Right.
Yeah, now you're ashamed. The question is,
well,
all right, so the question is, this story is very complicated. Some kids basically set up their computer in such a way that they could spy on this guy's roommate. And as you read the story in the New Yorker magazine, they had concerns about the guy he was with. They actually thought he might rip him off or do something inappropriate with him. So they were kind of concerned about the kid's safety, but they were kind of tantalized also what was going on. And they watched for a few seconds, and then they chatted about it amongst themselves in sort of disgusting ways. The question is, do you have anything to say about young people throwing cameras on themselves these days?
Well, I think there's a distinction between putting a camera on yourself and putting a camera on somebody else and then posting the video of someone else without their permission. They
didn't post it. They didn't post it. They didn't post it, it turns out. That's what's being reported.
As
apparently, that's not what happened.
Didn't he talk about his roommate being gay, though, on Twitter or something?
Yes. There was some talk. There was some very inappropriate sort of talking about it afterwards. The kid who eventually killed himself, Clementi, did read that nasty stuff, and the question they're trying to answer is, did that eventually lead to his suicide? But my question for you, Tucker, you're someone, again, you've done this stuff. I don't know anybody else but you who's done it. And my question is, do you feel remorse now? Is this just something kids are more likely to do than ever before? I mean, how do I understand the context of a kid even thinking about doing this?
Okay, well, first off, of course, I feel remorse. Like, I'm not really sure there's any way to do this. And then, like, you could do it in the moment and think it's funny. But then later on, when you look at it, obviously, if you have any sort of empathy at all, if you're not a complete sociopath, then of course you're going to be like, man, that was messed up. I shouldn't have done that. It was really bad. But, you know, like when you're 20, 21, you don't necessarily, or 19, you don't necessarily think about these things at the time. Which, again, doesn't excuse what he did, but the thought process, I think, of a 19-year-old is something like, boy, wouldn't it be funny if I videotaped this, as opposed to really, like, thinking about, okay, what are the consequences of this? How would I hurt other people?
Okay.
You don't really think through the logic.
Tucker, you said it. Then you write a book about it, right? But anyway, what you're saying is exactly what I'd hope you say, and my guests in the studio are actually reacting to this, so who wants to go first?
I totally believe that this is a hate crime because there's no way that this would have happened if it was a male and female. It's because it was two guys interacting and having sex with each other. That's what made it into a spectacle, and that's why they wanted to record it, and that's why they, talked to friends about it.
They were tantalized
after.
They
were tantalized.
This wasn't an out guy. So, okay.
No, he was an out guy. He was out to his family. He was just newly out before he left for college, but he was not securely out, perhaps.
I have a scenario for you. Okay, so someone makes a mistake. They drink and they get into a car. Is their intention to go and kill somebody? No. But if they do kill somebody, are they then responsible for the consequence?
Exactly.
He made a mistake by invading his privacy and then trying to, on Twitter, potentially humiliate him. And there should be a consequence as well. I think you should get those 10 years. It's not even like it is for manslaughter. It's for invasion of privacy, and there was one other thing that it was for. So I believe he made a mistake, and it was a mistake that really he had a conscious choice to humiliate another boy because of his sexuality.
And the incriminating part for me was that the texting back and forth.
Yeah, that's what really gets bad.
It was saying ill and yuck, and that really shows that it was...
LOL, kind of yay, and that kind of stuff. But Mark, I want to go out to you. You heard what Erica said. Tucker has a law degree too, but you're the actual practicing attorney. What do you think about what she just said?
I completely disagree that he deserves 10 years. We could all agree that what he did was a gross error in judgment. But now we're in the criminal arena. And the question is whether the prosecutors can prove bias intimidation, which is the up to 10-year crime. And they can do so in 3 ways. They can prove in 2 of the ways his intent and what he felt was his intention. But the third way, which is the easiest way to do it, is to show that the victim felt intimidated and that he was targeted because he was gay. Now, some of the tweets that the victim had where he said, I thought this was so, with 3 O's, funny, and that when he was told it might be a hate crime, he laughed about it, may be compelling evidence for the jury to say, you know what, I'm not ready to hang him on the main charge.
But B, part of it may be that this kid didn't want a lot of attention drawn to him. He was newly out.
He was trying to downplay it. He was trying to make light of something that deeply hurt him.
Think about being a new freshman in a college. You don't want to make a big spectacle of yourself. You just want to fit in with your peers,
this boy Ravi goes to Rutgers University. He's not an idiot. You know, the lawyer's excuse that he's a juvenile, he doesn't know what he did, it was a stupid mistake, it just doesn't stand.
And for me, you know, I was out at UNC Chapel Hill, and I can only imagine if something like that happened to me. The embarrassment, the shame.
Okay, that's that's the question to you. Would you the embarrassment, the shame? Would it be so bad that would make you jump off a bridge? Can you imagine that?
Possibly.
Everybody reacts
possibly because everyone reacts.
But you can imagine being in that spot. I can't really. I don't know what that is. You know, you said you can put yourself there.
When you're in college, you're figuring out everything. And things to you are hypersensitive because you're exploring them for the first time for yourself. And to have your peers judge you and to know exactly, because they could see it, exactly your sexual experiences, you know, that's embarrassing, and it could lead someone that's already dealing with issues and, you know, years of being ostracized and put down and bullied.
But he didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff in his pack, and he seemed pretty comfortable. His parents were fairly accepting. His mom apparently was a little dismissive. But the fact is, would that
be? You never know.
You never know. I agree. But you're speaking on behalf of someone who can put themselves in that position. My question is this. If you put yourself there and you try to downplay it, does it make sense to you that that attempt at downplaying might have been real anguish?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's a defense mechanism.
It's a defense. All right.